to Avance Latino News. Today, I will be your host. Sadly, we had to let go of Joshua, so he's no longer with us. I'm just kidding. He's actually at a gala representing us there, and we're so grateful that we be part of it. Today, though, we have a special guest, and her name is Dorima. Welcome, Dorima, to this live stream.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yep, we're super excited for everyone that's here joining us. I hope everyone can hear us. If you can, give us a like, subscribe, and comment, and leave us any question as we're talking today. A couple of topics about, as you see the title up there, Walmart is paying their new truckers $110,000 just to drive the trucks around because they have such a high demand of people buying stuff. But how are you, Darima?
I'm doing good. Doing
Yeah.
good. Just, yeah. Such a long day, a lot of driving today, but overall, good day. I had meetings with a lot of really cool people today. So, representing the nonprofit. So, that was really cool. These are some high level people over at Chase Bank. So, hopefully, that all goes well.
That's where Josh was at too, right?
Yes, he went to the gala. I went to an event earlier today, and Josh is at a gala that Chase is sponsoring. Well, they're one of the sponsors of this gala, so that's where he's at right now, along with Carlos, the CEO.
Nice. All right. Well, let's get started. And the first story of today is taxes, which everyone gets super excited when we talk about taxes. I recently helped Diana do her taxes by herself. She usually goes to someone. And this time she
Oh,
did it
okay.
through the app Cash App. And it was interesting because it was a lot more complicated than we thought.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really? They
Yeah.
ask you a lot of questions?
It was just tricky because last year she was still unemployment and also healthcare. For those who don't know, you officially have to have healthcare or else you get fined. I didn't know that either, and I had to pay a fine because I didn't have healthcare. And
You
now,
didn't know that? It's been like that for years.
well, they paused it. They paused it. They were doing it, and then in 2019, I think, or 2020, one of those 2 years, you didn't have to anymore. You don't get fined for it anymore. I forgot which year it was that they stopped doing that. But now, federally, I think that was, and now California's in California itself, the state I think requires it because when I was doing my California portion of the taxes, that's when they said, "Have you
Mm,
had health insurance?" And I was like, "Oh, what?" And I had to pay a good little fine for that, but
of course, they'll get you there. They can
yeah,
get money somehow. Was it a
yeah.
big fee that you had to pay?
Well, I didn't have insurance at all year, so I had to pay $1,000.
Oh, wow. I wonder if it's like that for everybody, like, or if it's income based or what it was.
It might be for everyone, but I think it's for everyone. I don't think it's income based. I think they just depending how many months whether or not you had insurance. I think they just taxed
Mhm.
you on it or give you a little fine for it, which sucks because.
Yeah.
And I definitely need to look after this live stream. I need to look for health insurance because I still don't have health insurance for this year. So I need to look into that for
Yeah,
this
you
year.
better get
Yeah,
it. Sign
yeah,
up for an ICRA account.
yeah. But one thing that's different about taxes this year is you have to pay taxes usually on the 15th, and this year is on the 18th.
Yeah, why did they change that? Is it because it lands on the weekend?
You might be
Lands on
why.
Friday, right? I
Yeah,
think the
yeah. Today's
15th.
the
The
14th,
15th
so
tomorrow.
it
Yeah,
would
the
have been
15th tomorrow.
tomorrow. It could have just been that they just help
Oh,
people
tomorrow's
out.
Good Friday. That's why. Tomorrow is
Ah,
the Lord's Day. They don't
how
want
did we not know? How did we not know? We're actually going to
Tomorrow's
church
Good
on
Friday.
Friday.
That's probably why yeah, they wouldn't mess with that. That's
That's
probably
probably
why.
why. Yeah.
That has to
So
be the reason. 'Cause tomorrow's Good Friday.
yeah. So anybody's watching, if you haven't or you forgot, taxes is literally due on Monday. So it's not like, oh,
Hmm.
let me think about it on Monday. If you owe any money to, like, most majority of people get it checked, so they're either expecting something in return or maybe just cut even. But if you owe
Hmm.
money and if you don't get it done by the 18th, you're also gonna have to pay who knows how much, but an extra fine for every day that you don't finish your taxes.
Yeah. Yeah. So make sure you get that done.
Yeah.
Luckily, my husband, Jake, takes care of all that for us because
Oh wow.
I did it 1 year myself through H&R Block. And it was pretty straightforward. It was pretty easy. They made it super easy. Like if you didn't understand something, they show you a video and walks you step by step on what they're asking for. So they made it really easy. But now I have Jason taking care of that. So he just asked me for my W-2 or whatever I need to get him, and he takes care of that. So I don't have to worry about it anymore. So that's nice.
Yeah, I used to use I think Credit Karma used to have it, but Cash App bought it, so now it's under Cash App, and it's nice, but
Oh,
they really want you to use it on the phone opposed to on a computer, and it's so much easier to
oh,
do it on a computer versus on a phone. That's how it
yeah.
was a little more trickier.
Can you use an iPad or a tablet?
Well, you still have the option to do it on the computer, but they like
Oh, okay.
recommend you have to download the app, sign up there, and you
Uh,
start doing the process there, and then you could do scan a QR code, switch over to a desktop.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if there's anybody that's looking for someone to file their taxes, there's programs called VITA, VITA. And if you just search for that online on Google, these are government agencies that provide funding to local
Hmm.
tax preparers so that they can prepare your taxes for free. So it won't cost you
Mm.
anything. And they're here to help you. It's no cost. They're usually in every city. You just have to look up VITA, VITA. I can put the word later in the chat, but you just look for VITA preparers and they're everywhere. And they
Nice.
do your taxes for free. So if you're looking for someone to prepare your taxes, that is no cost, which it can cost a lot of money to prepare your taxes. They don't charge you. So they shouldn't at least. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
the first time I've ever like personally did taxes with someone, my parents were like, "You should do it with someone. You should do something," because I usually tend to do it by myself, and they charged me like $300, and I was like, "What?" And
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever do that again. Of course, if you're a business owner, it's much better to go with someone because there's always new rules or different
Yeah.
ways that you can figure out like, oh, okay, this is something you could cut down from your taxes. And what was the name again? Vita VIT.
VITA, VITA. I know
This is
like
through the
the Office of,
IRS, right?
I believe so. I know that um,
I'll put the link right
VITA
here.
tax. Yeah, it's a free tax preparation service in LA. And I
Okay.
know they have some um, in Orange County. I just don't know where. But I know MAOF, the Office of Lucio Roybal, they have resources there on their websites that you can find someone near you. And they can accommodate you in person and I believe also virtually. I know last year and the year before they did everything virtually. But yeah, so it's a free tax preparer, but yeah, it can get expensive and I'd rather save those $200-300 because a lot of the times they charge you based on the percentage of what your return is. So if you're getting a $2,000 return, oh, okay, it's going to cost you $200 for your service. So it
I
can
put
get expensive.
I found a IRS link that tells you what you need and also the Vita to help out
Oh, okay,
find a site near you. So
cool,
it's a gov website, so you know you're not gonna get in trouble. But it's there on the
nice.
text on the comments.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
Well, that's good.
So that's it.
Yeah,
Just Monday comes along. You know, it's Good Friday. You know, take it easy. Don't go too crazy. Uh,
yeah.
and get
Don't
ready for
forget,
taxes. Yeah, don't forget about taxes. All right,
and don't forget.
next topic is everyone's favorite is inflation. It's like the topic
Uh,
that we keep hearing on the news. I'm
that's
personally
the
over it.
topic.
Yeah, it's like I think every podcast, even if it's not like finance related or anything, they always talk about inflation. So I feel like that's on almost everyone's mind is inflation, inflation, inflation.
Yeah, just because it's a tax on the consumer, you know.
Yeah, yeah, it's something you feel every day, whether even if you're just doing the most simple things, even going to the movies, is like, why is popcorn more expensive? Why is the soda more? Why is the tickets more expensive?
Yeah.
Inflation, inflation. And as today, you see here in the article in your screens, inflation for the first time since, levels since the 1981, we haven't reached 8.5, which is pretty
Uh,
insane. Because if you can see here, let me make this a little big, the article, so you can see the chart. It's pretty nuts how high we have come. And I personally didn't think we would reach these levels because this is something that me and Rima have never lived through. So now we're seeing how crazy everything is getting really expensive. I don't know if you notice it a lot.
oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it definitely feels higher than 8.5. I think that's the average, but I think across the board, it's definitely higher than that. I mean, gas alone is like two and a half to three times what it was a year or two ago. So I definitely feel it because even just today, driving all the way to LA, I never used to think in terms of how much it cost me to drive. It was just like the time, like, oh, it's gonna take me an hour, but now it's like it's gonna take me an hour, but it's also gonna cost me $20 to drive there. And it's like, oh my gosh, that seems like
For
a lot of money.
Yeah, for me, like even I never used to think about this, but I used to be like, drive through, who cares? I don't want to get out. Now I'm
Yeah.
like, the line's pretty long. I'm not gonna waste gas, so I park, go inside, and get the food because I'm like, that's expensive now, gas. I'm not gonna sit around in my car
That's
turned
true.
on. Yeah, that's one
Even
way
though
that
you're
it's
probably
affected
not
me.
wasting that much, but still.
It's still on my
Yeah.
mind. It's like I'm thinking,
Yeah.
oh no, I'm wasting somehow money. This is way too expensive. How can I be
No,
friendly?
for sure.
Mm-hmm. Because
Yeah.
even me personally, I don't really spend that much, but my what I like about my bank SoFi is that it charts my spending and what I spend, and every month is like more, but I'm like shopping less and spending more. But it's just like, oh,
I
you
know.
spent more this month than last month. It's like,
Hmm.
jeez, yeah, that's the
Yeah, it's pretty
inflation.
interesting. Like, me and Jason, we get eggs from Trader Joe's that are free range, that don't have hormones or factory farm, but they're from like a local farmer. And they're normally $3, but yesterday I went and they're $4.29, and I'm like, that's more than 8%. That's
Yeah.
that's a whole $1.30 more than what they were last Friday, I think I went. So it's just like, man, it's getting really expensive. And I can't imagine, because even in a couple of months, minimum wage is going to go up. And if minimum wage goes up, as well as inflation continues, and that's going to make things even more expensive for the consumer.
Yeah, yeah, because and that's one thing that people don't understand is like, okay, we'll raise the salary, which is good for those people that are trying to make more money, but that's the business owner is gonna be like, okay, if I have to raise how much I'm paying my employees, I'm gonna bump the prices of my service, the things that I sell, what people want to get, because at the end of the day, they still have to make some money, and they're trying to make more each time. So how they can
Yeah.
is raise the prices. And in this article that you see here, the average household in America, some more, some less, but roughly they're spending an extra $250 a month. So that seems like not that crazy, but if you see here per year, that's like $3,000. That's a lot.
That's 2 days of work.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's about 2 days extra of work that you would have to work. That's 8-hour days if you're getting paid minimum wage, which is $15 an hour. So that's extra, because that's so much more, because like you don't have 2 extra days in a month that we're getting. So yeah, that's the challenging part. Am I frozen?
no, you're good.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
you see yourself frozen. Here you look good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, yeah. And,
Yeah.
and and like it says here, the middle-aged Americans are paying even more. And in the article, it talks about how the people who are 45 and 50 are paying even more because they have more expensive, and also the stuff that they usually tend to buy have
Yeah.
inflated a lot. So it's like, dang.
Well, even one thing, like my husband works with a lot of retirees, and just thinking about those people that have already retired and have like only a
Well,
set
yeah.
budget that they can spend. And now it's like, well, it's costing even more. Like you don't plan for these things. You hopefully in retirement you can enjoy that time, rather than like, oh my gosh, I need to come up with more money to cover those extra costs. But yeah, it's interesting what you said earlier about how like it's passed on to the consumer when, minimum wage goes up. I remember when I first started my first management position, it was the year that Obamacare and minimum wage was implemented in the same month. So at the time, it was raised to $13 an hour, and then we had to grant everybody that worked more than 24 hours in a week health care. So I remember my upper management came to me and said, you have to make all your employees part time, and you have to get rid of half of them. So that
Yeah.
was a
Yeah.
very challenging conversation, because they put in, I think it was 6 self-checkout machines to replace 10 of my employees. And I had to convert all my full time employees to part time employees. to not have to pay for healthcare, which was, a lot of people say, oh, tax, get the corporations. Well, they're going to be smart and find a way to pass it on to the consumer or pass it on to like the lower level employees. And that was like a hard realization for me because I'm like,
It's,
I have to have those conversations with my team, not you. And so not a lot
yeah,
of people were very happy with me.
yeah, and it's easy for a corporation to do that, but just imagine like you're a business owner and you have to also, uh, like, okay, you have to be either part time because I can't afford, or I'm gonna have to lay you off because I
Yeah,
can only afford healthcare for this many people. So yeah, it's something that, especially when it's passed that fast, it doesn't let anyone plan for it. Things like
yeah,
this happen. But yeah. I
yeah,
just for like this inflation thing, I just hope it stays like this. I hope it doesn't go higher because it's just getting too expensive. Like I hope they can control it, and obviously I personally think it's a lot higher than 8%, but I just
yeah.
hope it stays that way because if not, man, we're gonna get some crazy difficult times. Because back in the 70s, that's when we had crazy inflation, and it wasn't good time. It wasn't good time
Yeah.
for people
People
trying
get
to get
desperate.
people get desperate, because they still want to buy a home, they still want to get a car, and they still have to do stuff like that. You still have to start a
The cost of
business,
food,
cost of
everything's gonna
food.
go up.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just like it's not nice. Like I got a pay bump, but with all this inflation, I'm still like, what? Why am I still like not saving more? I thought like, all right, I'm gonna
Yeah,
get save more. Nah, not with
yeah.
inflation. So
No,
that's
same.
why, yeah. So that's why
You didn't get at least over 10% increase? Nah.
yeah, yeah.
You're
Yeah.
negative
Yeah, so if
from
you're watching, like the best way is ask if you worked for that business for a long time and you've been faithful, you've been hardworking, be like, hey, I think it's time for us to talk to get a pay raise because it's getting too crazy, too expensive, and I really love working for you guys. Joshua says, hey, beautiful people. Aren't you in the gala? What are you doing?
I know, you're supposed to be networking.
Yeah, yeah, networking. But yeah, if you're watching, ask your employer if you get a pay raise. If not,
There's plenty
uh,
of companies hiring.
yeah,
There's
if
so
if
many jobs out there that, you just gotta be willing to put your name out there.
Yeah. But like my girlfriend's looking for jobs, but I think they're being extra picky. And also, I'm like, even for us, like my company's a production company, we have so much work and we would love to hire some other person. But in the back of our head, we're always thinking, is it going to get worse? Because if it gets worse, some of our clients are already telling us if things get too expensive, we won't be able to hire you. We're gonna have to cut this or cut that. So it's like, all right, I guess we stay like this. We'll try to work more, us, everyone personally, but we would
Hmm.
love to hire someone. But that's also in the back of our heads, like, okay, is things gonna get worse? Because if it does get more expensive, our clients are gonna cut it, and then if we hire this person, so that's
I
also in
think
the
a
back of
lot
our
has to
heads.
do with like the industry that you're in. For entry level, I mean, there's hiring signs everywhere, right? So if you're looking for an entry level position, there's plenty of job opportunities out there, but even other positions as well that perhaps you may not have heard of or thought of. But yeah, if you're a smaller company, a smaller business, you might be thinking like, okay, we can't offer certain benefits or certain pay or certain like certainty of a job. I know there's some organizations such as ours that only hire on a 10-hour block and don't guarantee more than 10 hours. So they hire you on a project base, I guess you can say. So like we'll hire you to complete this job, you have 10 hours to complete it, and when we have more opportunities, we'll hire you for that, which we've done in the past for certain, like when we had the census, because the
Hmm.
census isn't every year, it was just for a certain time period, but now more organizations are doing it that way. It
Makes sense.
it alleviates so many costs that go into it, like insurance, health insurance, overhead fees. You just hire them to complete the project and that's it.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll see. Hopefully, inflation stays this way. But the next
Yeah.
story, and hopefully it gets down, not just stays this way, but goes down.
Uh,
But
yeah.
talking about inflation is it's getting pretty high that even Amazon, a big corporation, is like, all right, fuel is getting too expensive. We're gonna have to now pass it on to the consumer, which 5% isn't a lot,
Yeah.
but it is another factor that is causing these high prices, inflation, is now Amazon has to charge 5% more. I'm pretty sure that's not going to stop me from shopping because I do most of my shopping through Amazon, but it does suck.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's going to take effect on the 28th of April, which is just about 14 days away.
Yeah.
So right before my dad's birthday. Um,
The day after. The day after his birthday.
no, the day, April 27th. Isn't his birthday April 29th?
No, 27. Oh my
Oh,
god.
wow. I thought it was the 29th.
I'm the
Are you
29th
sure?
of July.
Okay. Well, the
Yeah,
day
oh
after.
four
Either
27.
way, the
Yeah.
week of his birthday.
Yeah. Yeah.
I should know this. Yeah, you're right. I think it is the 27th. But anyway, and who knows if they'll ever get rid of this charge, a lot of the times they'll just keep it. And 5%, like you said, it's not enough for you to feel it where it's going to affect your pockets. Like it's like death by a thousand cuts. 5% here, 5% there, but overall, like 5% on $5 is not really that much. Is what, 25 cents? Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not gonna break you, but
No.
millions and millions of people shop on there, so for them, it's gonna make a huge.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice bump, in overall sales and overall profits, which is good. It's like me, like um, coffee has gone. Like if you go to a coffee store, and I used to think it's expensive, it was $4. Now everywhere's 6,
Minimum,
and
unless you
they're
go to McDonald's.
yeah, yeah. McDonald's has. If you anybody wants to save money, download the McDonald's app. It's $1. If you just buy one coffee a day, it's $1. So that's a way to save money. And just said, dang, quick math. I guess he was saying about your 5%, huh? Or $5 or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I play dominoes, and dominoes helps you so much with math.
Yeah. Every time we go over, you guys usually play like card games like that.
They're really good. They've
Yeah.
made me really good at math, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna be making sure our little baby does play
Yeah.
those games.
25 cents.
Yeah,
I guess that's how much it is
but
for $5. But what you were saying is how they're never gonna take it off. Like one thing that I've noticed sometimes when I go to Mexican restaurants and I used to love is they bring chips and salsa. Now when you go to a Mexican restaurant, they're like, oh, if you want chips and salsa, it's $2, and for every refill, it's $1 extra. So they're never gonna take that
yeah,
off. They're never gonna take that off.
yeah, they got
You know.
used to it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And also us as a consumer, we're like, $1, $2, whatever.
That's true. It used to be free. It used
It
to
used
be
to be
like
free.
expected. And some places still do it, but now the majority of places do charge.
Yeah, or they don't have it anymore. Like, oh, we don't give chips and salsa anymore. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But stuff like that, these little things, they're never gonna go away. They're never gonna go away. All
No.
right. And the next article that we have is the one that we have for the title is Walmart. Walmart is such in desperate need because they have like anything that has to do with retail these past 2 years has just been killing it, especially the big stores, Walmart, Target, Amazon, and they
Hmm.
need so many truck drivers that they're willing to offer a 12-week program. And once you're done with this 12-week program, you're able to make $110,000 a year, which is
Wow.
very nice.
That's very good. Does it say like if they pay you during those 3 months of training,
Hmm.
what if you get compensated?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it just makes sense because 12 weeks is a long time not to get paid. I would
Yeah,
have to
maybe they don't
guess.
pay you the full salary, but maybe they pay you an hourly wage.
Yeah,
Um, mhm.
makes
But that's
sense.
really good. I mean, 110,000, you know, uh,
No college
and
degree.
no college degree. I mean, you know, it's not something, I mean, if it wasn't for this industry, our whole country would die because without this, we don't have milk, bread, we don't
Toilet
have our
paper.
toys, nothing. Can you
Yeah,
imagine?
yeah.
They don't have any of that.
No,
And so
yeah. Wait,
this is the backbone of our country.
pay per mile? What does that mean, Jason? They're gonna pay them how much per mile?
Starting rate for new drivers will now be between, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think
Well,
that'd be insane if they pay him 110,000 per mile. But maybe there is like in the training process they're gonna pay him per mile or something like that.
mm,
Yeah, like in my opinion, like I see this as someone who's struggling right now. Let's say inflation is really crazy and they have just like a basic job and no college degree. Dude, go for this. I don't think this is a job for the future, especially with automation. Maybe
yeah.
in 10 years we're not going to have these truck drivers anymore. It's going to be all AI, self driving Tesla trucks. But for someone who's like, hey, that seems really good, I could use this money, save it up, work for 10 years, and eventually be able to move somewhere else. But $110,000, no college degree, 12-week program, you're done.
Yeah, no, that's really great. No, for sure. It's a good opportunity, and it's the backbone of our country. Without our truck drivers, I mean, we wouldn't have our toilet paper.
Yeah.
And Jason's saying there, drivers get paid per mile driven. Yeah, most drivers get paid per driver per mile driven. Not sure if that's what Walmart is going to do or if they're just going to hire them internally. That's what it seems like by getting offered 110,000. But hey, if you're living in Arkansas, Bentonville, where this company is based, that's a pretty solid income.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
California is probably,
That's
you know,
right. I didn't even think about that. That's right. If you're
low
I'm thinking
class.
more like California, like, hey, that it's still a good job, no college
Yeah,
degree, no
it's so
nothing.
good.
But yeah, if you're living out there, phew, it's like if you're
Oh
making
man.
300 over here, it's really
That's
good.
that's the that's your you can buy a house.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah,
You
yeah,
can buy it and pay it off in a couple years with
yeah,
that kind of income. So
yeah,
that's
and
really good to see.
hopefully they don't like in 10 years AS too advanced that you lose your job, but that is something to keep in mind, even just for me, for any industry, like, okay, is this something that I could able to do for the rest of my life? Also have that in mind because technology, man, it advances so fast. Like the other day on TikTok, I saw that these restaurants are installing these robot arms in fast foods to serve the food, and that's something that you can buy. It was like a TikTok I could buy. I'm like, why is it advertising it to me to buy these robot arms? Like I don't have a restaurant. I guess I talk about food all the time that they just thought like
I
he must own a
know
restaurant.
this guy needs to open up his own restaurant.
Yeah, so
Yeah. Well,
that
even just now,
uh-huh.
like I went to a McDonald's not too long ago to buy an iced tea because I love regular unsweetened iced tea anyway. And they just have the kiosk there. They have four kiosks. They still have two cashiers, but they have four kiosks. And you can just order your order, and it was much faster to get that rather than standing in line
I
and ordering.
I use the app. Like in any restaurant that has an app, I use an app. That way, by the time I park, it's either they bring it to me or I just walk in and grab it. To me, that's life changing. I don't understand how In and Out doesn't have that. I don't
Yeah.
understand.
Well, In-N-Out is killing it though. Every time you drive by, they're
It's
always like
back.
inconveniencing a street.
Yeah,
I think the
yeah,
one by your house is probably the best design because every other In-N-Out is blocking a street. And
yeah,
it's kind of annoying, but hey, they've mastered their what they do and they're killing it, which is good for them and Chick-fil-A.
yeah, yeah. There is one. You remember the one in Pioneer right here in Norwalk? That one does block the whole street. Like if you go
Oh,
there at 7 o'clock at night and onward, you're gonna be traffic. So just avoid that. Yeah,
yeah, I'm surprised I haven't downloaded an app. But
yeah.
that's
I don't know.
good. That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and more pretty much because of everyone is like we were saying these big
It's
companies are in desperate
opportunities.
needs. Yeah, they're in desperate
Yeah,
need. They're
there's
they're
opportunity. Hmm.
That's why when I see this crazy high inflation, but then I see Amazon, Walmart, they're like, we need employers. I'm like, people are spending money that they're willing,
Yeah,
like,
people are still spending money.
yeah, even with these high prices, people are still spending money. And Amazon, like it says here, the article plans to hire high schoolers because they're having a labor shortage. And here the article
Hiring
says
high
that they
school.
want to go into high schools and recruit them for career days and stuff like that. Do you think this
I
is a
think
good
that's
thing?
great. I think that's a great thing because I remember my best friend Liz working when I was in high school and how much more disciplined she was, having to manage both her schooling, sports, her home, and then work. She only worked 2 days a week, I believe, but the fact that she was able to graduate high school with that work experience, because that's the one thing that you get asked in any job, what sort of experience do you have? And so if you can start at such a young age, r- getting that and building those skills, communication, teamwork, all of that, it's going to set you apart even more.
Yeah. And Jason's saying here in the comment, if you worked there in high school, you realize how much it sucks not to have any sort of special training, and you'll probably get some sort of advanced schooling. Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
one thing that is also good to remember is Amazon pays for your college. I think Walmart too. Walmart is going to pay for all of your college, so that's pretty sweet. But so if you're a high schooler and you're like, I have to pay for college, this is an option. You know, you could work for Amazon and you get your schooling paid for, so that's pretty sweet.
Hmm.
I don't see it as a bad thing, but
I think this is great.
I just see it when I see Amazon, Walmart, Target, and all these companies that are growing like crazy. They're taking over all the mom and pop stores. That's pretty obvious to me. It's like
Yeah.
they're going directly to the high schoolers and they're like, work for us. You know, we have all these crazy benefits. Then you go to like a mom and pop store market, you're like, I'd rather work at Amazon. It sucks, but eventually everything's going to be Amazon, Target, and Walmart.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I remember years ago, I was working in the city of, I believe it was in Compton. Yeah, I was working in Compton, but I believe Walmart was going to be, they wanted to open a Walmart in
They
Compton.
protest when that
And the
happens.
community, the business owners were like, absolutely not. They fought it and they won. And at first I didn't understand. I'm like, why are you fighting Walmart? Like, don't you want that? Like, it's cheaper than, those mom and pop stores. And they're like, yeah, because what they do is they come into our community, they undercut our prices by 50 cents or a dollar. And then as soon as they put us out of business, they raise the prices. And I'm like, oh, wow, I had no idea. And it's
Yeah.
unfortunate, that it works that way. But yeah, but I think it's still a good opportunity for students, for high school students to start building that resume and understanding the value of a dollar, and especially working with high school students or even just parents, like kids just go to their parents. Like, I mean, how many kids do we know that have the latest iPhone and the screen is all cracked? And I'm like, man, like, do you not realize this costs thousands of dollars? But if they had to work, I don't know, 15 paid $15 an hour and pay for $1,000 phone, I'm sure they would be taking care of that puppy like their life
Yeah.
depended on it. But because it's just a simple, mom, buy me a phone. If not, I hate you. Okay.
Yeah.
And parents feel guilty and they end up giving in. But if they can understand the value of what a dollar is and how much you have to work, I think it'll make you more appreciative of what you have and what your parents give you rather than always taking, asking.
No, no, yeah. Like I was like that too as a little kid. I definitely wasn't a big spender, but I was always like, oh, I'll get that. Especially when it comes to tech. And as soon as I lived on my own, that's when I started to realize like, oh shit, things are crazy expensive, and if they
Hmm.
break, it's like that hurts even more. It's like to buy it again, especially if it's like a phone,
Yeah.
because you nowadays how can you live without a phone? So
Hmm.
yeah, it does teach you the value of like, hey, this is mine. I better take care of it, and also it's expensive, so I better not just throw my
Yeah.
money anywhere. It's like I gotta
Right.
make sure that it's bought for good things. But yeah, if you're a high schooler, Amazon is definitely is in need of a labor shortages. So hey, if it's an opportunity you want to go to college for free, they offer that. They also offer a bunch of different other
Yeah, and I'm sure they
healthcare.
offer probably a 401k.
I'm
And if
pretty
you
sure.
can start at 18 putting money into that, even if it's $5, like that, oh my gosh, would make such a huge difference. I really hope Amazon teaches these young people that they're going to hire. Maybe they can have Avance Latino come in and talk to them about that because, man, the power of compound interest. If these kids start at 18 just saving into their retirement, even just the basic, the minimum, they'll be so much better off and they can start building that wealth that we talk about all the time. And when inflation comes, it probably won't affect them as much because, well, I have a good amount saved there.
It will affect them in the positive.
Yeah.
If anybody holds any valuable assets, inflation
Mhm.
is the best thing that could ever happen to you. That's why the rich love it and the poor love it too, but the middle class hates it because it
Yeah.
steals the money. When it's super inflated, what does it do? The government prints a lot of money, the poor and the rich get it. The middle class is the one that
It's suffering, it's getting squeezed.
yeah, so it's like, yeah. So that's why if I would have known, like I knew about assets and all that, but I didn't really fully understand it. In these past like 2, 3 years, I'm like, I understand a lot more. It's like it's so important, like you said, start early, your 401k, or even just a Roth, as simple as just putting it away automatically and just forget about it. It's super important. And
Yeah.
Jason, I have to hand it to him because he's definitely the one that taught me that.
Yeah, no, for sure. He taught me too because I'm like, oh, I wish I would have known this sooner, you know? And
Yeah,
sometimes our parents, it's not that they don't want us to know, it's just they don't think to teach us or to pass on this knowledge, or they don't know
they don't know.
themselves. And
Yeah,
so I think if Amazon, this is an opportunity for them to really impact these high school students and teach them about that. Not just hire them, but hey, if you guys can start investing at such a young age and help them see the value of long term and waiting, you know, delayed gratification, it can change their lives and
yeah,
help them build wealth long term. So
yeah. And we're
I think this
also,
is a great thing.
yeah, and also us Latino, we're going into the schools because we also understand how important it is to learn this at such a young age and get them excited
Yeah,
about it. Like, hey, you know, Warren Buffett started when he was 14 years old, and look at him now. And he didn't
right.
do it. He didn't do anything crazy. He's just like invested little by little. It took years. I think he started making a lot of his money when he was 45. Takes a while, but then boom,
Yeah.
it kicks off like crazy. All right, let's
Hmm.
go to the next article now. Okay, so this next one is I wanted to show a graph is like, but why? I thought people aren't working all that. In reality, we're pretty much back to the same levels that we were prior to COVID. If you see here the graph, we dropped completely. We've shown this graph before, but we're pretty much back to that level that we were of unemployment, which is very good to see. It's good for the
Yeah.
economy, but that's why Amazon is in desperate need of hiring.
Right. Stores that were closed a year ago are now back open.
Yeah,
So they're like, we need you back.
yeah.
We're open again, so we
And
need you
I
back.
and I think people are spending more than ever. I think being at home and people have a lot of money saved up from all the money that was given to them, or also just because they were saving, that they're just spending. I see that with people that I follow on Instagram and all that. They're just buying here left and right. So it's pretty nuts. And now to end it off in a happy conversation, not about inflation. Well, it's still based on inflation. So
Uh,
Krispy Kreme, they're really smart with their marketing. They saw
yeah.
this and they're all like, because like we were talking earlier, they did that for the vaccine, where if you have the vaccine card, you get a free donut. Well, now because gas is so expensive, usually their dozen donuts cost like $20, and
Yeah.
starting yesterday, on Wednesday, for the next 3 weeks until 3 weeks Wednesday from now, they're gonna offer a dozen donuts. So if you're hearing this, go to Krispy Kreme right now. You get donuts, a dozen donuts for $4.
That's pretty good. Yeah, because I remember I bought Krispy Kreme donuts last year for everybody that was doing the COVID vaccine. And I bought, or like volunteering
Oh,
to
okay,
help at
okay,
that event. Not the people getting the
yeah.
vaccine,
I
people
was like, what?
volunteering. And I bought 4 boxes and it was like almost $100. I'm like, how are these donuts? Like, I think I paid like 70 something dollars for 4 dozen donuts. I'm like, this is so ridiculous. Like, had I known it was gonna be this much, I would have just went to like someone down the street, you know, some other little mom and pop shop where it probably
Yum
wouldn't have
yum
cost.
donuts.
Yeah, seriously, Yum Yum, or I don't know. I see a lot of DK donuts around
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
But I was pretty shocked. But yeah, their marketing is pretty good. I remember in 2020, I used to live by the outlets and there's a
Mm,
Krispy Kreme there. And I guess they give a free donut or a free box or something when you graduate college and you
mm.
just have to present like or high school. And the line, I swear to you, wrapped around the whole outlet a couple times. And I remember because I was walking every day, 5 miles. And so I went up to a driver. I'm like, how long is the wait? And he's like, well, I've been here for 2 hours. And then one of the employees said it's still about another 4.5 hour wait. I'm like, 5 hours, 6 hours just for a box of donuts that are free? Like, damn.
That's
People
why,
must,
you know.
that is
That's why.
crazy.
It's free. People are willing to wait, and also I'm pretty sure they
six
want to post
hours.
it. They want to post it on their Instagram. I got
Yeah.
Krispy Kreme donut.
And
It's like,
well,
oh, sick.
it was at the height of the lockdown when it was like
Oh,
2 weeks to
that's why
slow the
too.
spread. So there's like nothing else to do, but still 6 hours sitting in the car.
No,
Like that seems
people actually
oh
did
my,
that.
yeah, I was very shocked. I'm like,
That's crazy.
wow.
No, 6 hours for donuts. No, 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 thank you.
Yeah, it was 6 hours from the point where I asked, and the line still went longer. And a lot of people, because I went where it was close to like my apartment. By the time I got there, they were just giving people gift cards at the end because they're
They
like, just
ran
come
out.
back
Yeah.
because we're out and we're just, the line is way too long. Just come back another day. So I was like, man, this is some dedication. I guess people have nothing else to do than to sit in the car for 6 hours.
Well,
But
they're smarter marketing. They see an opportunity and they're like, hey, how can we be back in people's minds? They probably made a lot of money in the graduation, and as well when they were saying, if you have a vaccine card and you show proof you got a COVID, we give you a free donut.
yeah,
So
because you
now
don't get just one donut. You're like, oh, I want something to drink, and maybe I want to try this other donut. And so
they're
this
really
smart.
good. I haven't had crispy donuts in forever. Maybe I'll get some because it's $4, but we'll see.
I haven't had some since last year when we did that at that event, but since then, I don't know. I like the regular, like from the little Asian shops. I feel like those are made with love.
Yeah, I think you took me
They're
one that
really
was
good.
right there in your neighborhood. That was really good in the morning. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. But
All right.
that's smart.
Yeah. Now you know more about this, right? SBDC.
Yeah, so the SBDC, first off, they're such amazing partners. I love working with them. So if you don't know about the SBDC, they're in every city, every county, and they're paid by our dollars. So all these taxes that we pay, sometimes they're used for good, which is the SBDC. The SBDC is an organization fully funded by our taxpayer dollars to help small business owners. And so what they do is they help you when it comes to like establishing your business. If you need to get your DBA, if you need to get your LLC or different licenses for your businesses, they help you. They train you, they coach you step by step. They hold your hand basically along the way. You have to obviously do the work. They don't do it for you, but at least you have someone there in your corner helping you and guiding you along the way until you're ready to take off. And so now they're offering this like California Dream Fund where they're partnering with organizations and different um, I think I believe it's Lendistry. I don't quote me on this. I could be wrong, but they're starting this new boot camp where you're going to do 8 sessions where they're going to teach work with small business owners on how to start their business, register their business, and everything. So every session is going to be on a different topic specifically for small business owners. They're going to offer it, I believe, in Spanish in LA County, Ventura County, and Santa Barbara County. So this is really cool. And at the end of it, you can apply for a $10,000 grant or a grant of up to $10,000 for your business. So this is really awesome. So not only do you get free training for your business, that you don't have to pay for, and they have experts. They have CPAs coming in, they have other business owners coming in, attorneys coming in, and business consultants that can help you. So take advantage of this free resource. And they've done such amazing jobs. I refer people there all the time just because like they've done such good work in the community. And now they're offering another incentive, which is up to a $10,000 grant. So the QR code there is there and the phone number. But I want to really encourage all business owners, not because of the money itself, but the wealth of knowledge that you're
Training.
going to gain. Because this is something that you can't, like, you can get other places, but I mean, at a free or no cost. And the people that they bring in are really cool people. They're really nice. They know what they're talking about. They're trained in this field. So it's not like some random person who's going to come in because this is going to help you take your business to the next level. Like, knowledge is very, very important. $10,000 is great, but the knowledge that you're going to gain is so much, it's going to take you so much further.
Yeah, it's like that
So,
famous quote. You could give a man a fish, or you could teach him how to fish. And
yeah, and
that's
then
that's
own that
yeah,
pond.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I personally always tell people, like, if they're starting a business, I tell them, have you heard of SBDC? You should give them a call. They're there. It's like you said, it's our money basically. So, but don't see it that way either. Like, hey, you better you better do this for me. But it's more like,
You're
hey,
warm my play.
yeah, yeah. Don't call and be like, hey, you work for me. Don't do that. But yeah, reach out to them. Their main goal is to help, people that are starting out, because no one knows how to start a business when they're starting out, or what they have to do, especially with taxes coming up. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are getting like, oh shoot, I have to do all of this. So hey,
Yeah.
yeah, like Rima said, give them a call, sign up, register, and they'll definitely help you out.
Yeah, and
And
you'll
then,
get to meet other business owners as well.
yeah. So I
So,
want to end it off. We're here at the end, and I just want to leave off with quotes. And I like quotes sometimes, with especially with pictures. I'm more visual person, and this is one quote that I saw this week that was pretty cool. That said, "No matter how small your business is, be proud of it," and that's super important. And especially like if you see in the picture here, this guy's taking a picture. He's probably making a reel. He's probably making a TikTok. Take advantage of the free resources that social media offers.
I
Post
know.
about your work. It doesn't have to be a nice camera. It could just be a simple phone. So it's a powerful thing that you should do. Is take and another quote that I really love and a picture that explain the picture itself. You don't have to read it. This guy fell asleep. Who knows, on a train, on a bus, something, and the president, the most important person in the whole wide world, is right there next to him. And the quote says, "Never lose an opportunity because you love to sleep."
Yeah, no, for sure. And I like the first quote that you mentioned because you talked about social media, the power of social media, and how important that is. I mean, maybe some of you know who Teddy's Red Tacos is, but he started off on social media right at the border of TJ with people recording. He literally just had like a little on the border. If you
Wow.
look up his story, just on the border on some tables from his home selling birria tacos, and now he's everywhere,
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
everywhere. They're even over here, I think in Staten. They just opened a location or Garden Grove. So, the power of social media and the power of like no matter how small it is, be proud of it because now look at him. He has multiple chains and his tacos are really good. So it's really important. And the second one as well too, because earlier today I had an amazing opportunity to speak in front of really cool people, and half of me I was like, "Dang, it's gonna take me forever to get there. I'm exhausted. I'm pregnant. I'm tired." But I'm not gonna sleep on an opportunity. If someone's opening a door for me, I better run through it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you just never know.
Yeah, and I love how he's not sleeping. He's knocked out. So who knows what happened that day or the night before, but
Yeah,
he's definitely like knocked out and the most
and
important person in the room. I have a feeling they probably were
look at
poking. They were poking, "Hey dude," but
look at
he's
the
not.
security guards behind him. They're just laughing because they're like,
Yeah.
how is this even real?
Yeah. Yeah.
People would die for this
Yeah.
opportunity,
Literally.
regardless of who that president is. Like, dude, it's the most
Yeah.
powerful person in the room and in the world.
Yeah. Who else can say, "Hey, I rode the bus and guess who was there?" The president. That's very rare.
I
Yeah.
wonder if the guy has seen himself in this photo
Yeah,
yet.
I'm pretty sure he's like, again that same photo, and then and then another one. This is the last quote. Is "Get it right." And what I like about this is Google wasn't the first, search engine. It was actually the 12th search engine.
Mm,
Facebook wasn't the first social network. It was the 10th. Tesla wasn't the first electric company, to start an electric car, and Amazon wasn't the first selling online. So what this quote says is it's not who gets first. It's who gets it right when the market is ready. Because also I like the two highlighted words. Gets it first when the market is ready. So hey, you might see an opportunity, hey, something is this. How can I just make it a little bit better? You don't have to
mhm.
be the first one to invent the wheel. I do that for myself when producing videos. I go online, I find a video that I really like, and I literally copy it. Of course, I'm gonna make it a little bit different, but everyone has to start from somewhere.
Yeah, no, for sure. And just like the brand recognition, the marketing, like you don't say, "Oh, I'm going to search for that." Even if you use like a different search engine like Bing or DuckDuckGo, you always say, "I'm going to Google that."
Yeah,
You never say, "Oh, I'm going to Bing that or
I'm a
DuckDuckGo
DuckDuckGo
it."
it.
No,
No,
let me Google that, even though you're not using it. And
yeah,
Facebook, I mean,
yeah.
Facebook,
Yahoo in our generation, that was the one too.
MySpace, yeah, yeah,
Yahoo.
but you never, "Oh, I'm going to Yahoo it."
I
You
don't
just,
think so. I think we were too
I've
young, but
never
people were
caught on.
AOL. I'm a AMU. I'm a AOL. You got
Yeah,
mail.
instant messenger.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then Tesla too. I mean, when you think about electric cars, you don't really think about like the Chevy Volt. Is that it? That's a Volt, right? That's an electric car, right?
or the
Not even sure.
Prius.
Oh yeah, the Prius, the Leaf.
Yeah, there's a
You don't
bunch
think
of
about
cars.
that. It's like the first thing that because like now everybody's pushing for electric cars. It's like Tesla. I want a Tesla. I want a Tesla. And Amazon. Oh, just buy it on Amazon, or let me check what Amazon does. And like I never, oh, let me go to drive to Walmart or Target, even though they're like literally down the street and I can get it today. I'd rather just buy it from my phone and it'll come tomorrow. I'll pay the 5% surcharge, no problem.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's like you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Whatever business you're
Yeah.
starting now, find something that you like,
You
whether
can
it's
improve on that too.
yep, whether it's like a restaurant, hey, I want to sell a taco shop. How are they doing it? Research, look what they're doing, and see how you can make it just 1%, 5% better. And that's all you have
Yeah.
to do. And that's
Hmm.
it. That's it for
That's it.
today's Avance Latino
Nice.
news. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope we
Yeah.
never have to bring Joshua back on because he doesn't know half of the stuff he's talking about.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's talking about half the time.
I'm just kidding. If Josh is watching, we don't mean it. But thank you, everyone, for having us. Thank you, Alex, too. I know he's probably listening.
Yeah, he's
And
learning.
I hope everyone that's watching has a wonderful day. Don't forget to do your taxes on Monday. Don't forget,
Yeah.
Monday is a day to do the taxes.
And
S-
have a wonderful Resurrection Sunday and Easter weekend. Stay safe and enjoy time with your family.
Yes. Adios, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.